Back in the book segment tonight, Waters World, getting to the bottom of a very unpleasant situation. General David Patraeus, former CIA chief and four-star general, teaching this semester at the City College of New York. Last week, as General Patraeus walked to his class, he was verbally assaulted.
You are nothing but a disgusting imperialist. You will not that, right? You will. Go to the media. We're here. All over you.
Now, why did those students bother Patraeus? Well, they were encouraged to do so by some of their own teachers, especially a guy named Sandor John, who teaches Latin American history. So we sent Jesse Waters out to speak with Mr. John.
Hey, Professor. Jesse Waters with Fox News. How are you doing?
I don't want to talk to you right now.
Well, you organized a hate mob that physically harassed and lobbed obscenities at General David Patraeus.
Why are you teaching at CUNY? What do you have to say?
Students and faculty at the City University of New York are not okay with a death squad organizer and somebody who organized drone attacks.
So you're accusing General David Patraeus of war crimes and personally torturing people. Do you have any facts to back that up?
The Guardian newspaper has amply documented that David Patraeus brought to Iraq Colonel James Steele, who had been closely associated with the Atlacatl Battalion, which in El Salvador carried out the El Mozote massacre, which exterminated an entire village.
I don't think those are actually facts. I think you're citing a left-wing magazine in Britain that's associated with Edward Snowden and WikiLeaks. David Patraeus dedicated his entire life to keeping you safe and protecting your freedoms. How do you live with yourself?
As a matter of fact, Jesse, my father fought in the Battle of the Bulge. My brother-in-law fought in Vietnam. My grandfather was in World War I. But none of them dedicated their careers to exterminating villages or creating torture camps.
Do you know that your salary is paid for by the taxpayers?
Do you know how much adjuncts at the City University of New York make, Jesse?
Why don't you enlighten me? Professor John does not have tenure. New Yorkers pay his salary, but the university refuses to tell us how much that is. Chancellor William Kelly has condemned the protests, but has stonewalled the factor's questions and refuses to take disciplinary action against the professor. How have the students reacted to him?
You know, we all know his background, you know, being a general, but even if he didn't have all that background, he's just a great professor.
You saw that video where the students here swarmed General.
Someone who's served our country for so long really deserves a lot more respect. I think it is important to hear out different viewpoints, but I think it's important that it be done in an environment of respect, and I feel like that hasn't happened.
Students, faculty, and staff at the City University of New York will continue to express their opposition to the attempt to turn this university into some kind of Abu Ghraib on the island of Manhattan.
What kind of person are you? Protests organized by Professor John against General Patraeus have now turned violent. Last week, 6 students were arrested and charged with obstruction, rioting, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest.
They're harassing this man, and this is being recorded right now.
You think it's okay to sick a wild, angry mob of students on a decorated war veteran?
Wait a minute, are you calling students at the City University a
You
mob?
organized a protest against the general that was disgusting and despicable, and you seem to be okay with that.
Is this supposed to be a news interview, or is this Joseph McCarthy being reincarnated, actually, Jesse?
Let me ask you a question one more time. Are you okay with the despicable display that you saw there on the street?
Are you okay with a war criminal being at the City University of New York? Because many people are not. And now, I am actually going to take the subway.
Okay.
Okay. Now, he's obviously a loon.
Yes.
And that was, you know, your questions were legitimate. But what's really troubling is he wants to hurt Patraeus.
He does.
He does.
He does.
This isn't a matter of debate or anything like that. He's calling Patraeus a war criminal and all of this business. Patraeus can't sue him because Patraeus is a famous person. In this country, you can't. But the school, which is and people should know, City University of New York, very left-wing school.
Right.
I mean, it had trouble for years. They're tolerating this. They should have fired that guy. You can't do that.
Right. So I'm asking them what the response is, and the chancellor says, we reject the disruption. You know, it's easy to reject the disruption. I can reject anything, but they're not doing anything about it.
But to his credit, Patraeus has not really done anything, reacted, and he's still teaching his class.
Right. We've tried to reach out to the general, and he does not want to comment about this. But the woman who I spoke to, who was a student, she doesn't feel comfortable going to the class. They're now barricading the classroom so you can't interfere with the students going in and out. It's becoming a very dangerous situation.
So the New York City police are barricading the classroom so nobody gets hurt.
Right. And now these students have a track record. They're arrested. Right. And, you know,
this is another Ward Churchill, this guy. He's another Ward Churchill. Remember Ward Churchill at the University of Colorado? They finally had to fire the guy. This is what this is about, and it's just outrageous. And again, taxpayers in New York paid this guy's salary. All right, Waters, very good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Factor tip of the day.